in his image. He cannot let us see him totally. What he totally looked like, what his face looked like, what his spirit. He always has to stay, because if he give it to us, we'd be messed up the whole world, whether he couldn't come back like he wanted. What did he tell him? Don't let him eat of that tree of life. Because if he eat of the tree of life, he'll live forever. See, yeah, man had to be stopped. Because the flesh is just totally after destruction. You can't expect a man to do nothing right. It's the spirit of enemy. So that's why we have to pray against the enemy through the spirit. Not the stature of man, but the spirit of the enemy that's in man will cause us to sin and do things that God don't want us to do. And we need to understand that. You know part of what God has. God sent into this world His Son to show us how He wants us to live. To show us. And then He says, now when the Son gets ready to go, the Son said, I'm going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you by yourself. I'm going to send you another comforter. While God is here, while the Son is here, we depend on Him. Now, the Holy Spirit is here, and that's the only thing that's going to help us. Don't be surprised when you see all this stuff going on, because we know it's the enemy. Know it's the spirit of the enemy. And the only thing that can help us is the Spirit of God that's in us. And you don't have to go looking for Him, wherever we think we're going to go, or go overseas. Back when He was walking in the desert, or wherever He was, He don't want you. It's already here if you ask them for salvation. All power in heaven and earth is the same power that's in you. But the enemy has fooled us because we think we are smart enough, or we think we're in the right place, or whether we can figure out what God has. It ain't nothing no different than what God has. Go back there, the serpent. God knew that when you eat of that tree, that you're going to be just like God. See, He'll stop you. Stopped them when they was trying to build that tower in the earth. He's going to stop man when He comes. He said, He said He's going to stop. Somebody look at it and say, He's going to stop tomorrow. This is the last time, because I saw the sun go down in this, and I saw the cloud look. You won't know when He's coming, because you don't know totally God. But you have to be ready when He comes. Be ready not to fall for all this stuff. Not ready to fall for all this junk. God don't want you not to have a nice place to live. He don't want us not to have if we want a car or whatever we want, He wants us to have that. But He wants us to recognize Him. Don't stop going to Him. Don't stop coming to God. Don't stop going to church. Don't stop getting on your knees. Don't stop praying. Football games and all that, see, that's a sign of showing people that we're leaving God. All you have to do is tell them, who's playing today? So what channel is it on? Can I watch it or whatever? What's happening over the church? All the folks say over there ain't doing nothing. See? First thing we say. And I'm talking about, man, we have to change the way we live. We have to stop filling these doctor's offices so full of the doctors and things that not doing what God would have us do. How you do that? I got a doctor that's good. I understand what he's talking about. But did you consult God about him? Did you talk to God about what He's doing to you? Have God first. Don't you know God made the doctors just like He made anybody else? And He made us to have to obey Him like He made anybody else. Because Sarai and Abram was God's children, it doesn't mean that they get by and do what they want to do. And we need to understand that. We're living in America today, and we live in And like I said it a few weeks ago, and I have to keep talking about it, we're living in a time now where that we don't really understand where we should be. Never have. Not since I've been around. Because we still don't understand that this big nose, this funny hair, or whatever, is not just as good as any other. Just as much valuable as any other. Why can we let other people make us think that it's something different? We got to worry about it. And I was listening to Miss Obama the other day. And don't you know that if we know it or not, they said that the black women have more problem with the hair than they do anything else. Because the people want to tell them how to fix the hair. You can't fix it this way, can't fix it that way, and work on this job. See, we as black men now, some is tried to escape it because, some other way by doing different things and doing, but we won't understand now. You saying this for you to be prejudiced? No, I'm just saying what I'm trying to use this, and I know it may not work like we think it should, but I'm trying to tell people, tell myself, that God said everything he made was good. And he reinforced it with very good. So then maybe you do have a black car or a blue car, but it ain't going to get you no more further than the same car I got, see? Don't worry about the color because God made it. Let us learn how to make it just as wonderful or just as good as what God made because he made it. Don't think you are left behind because you don't have. See? Left behind because I got a skin. And I know that most of you have heard this before, but I said it again this morning. This little boy, he grew up in this area somewhere over here. He moved to Commerce City where I was teaching. And there's a little black boy in there. And he kept bothering this boy. I said, well, why do you mess with him so much? And he says, well, I don't know. I said, it didn't just start here. I said, it had to start somewhere else. I said, you couldn't bring that much hatred against a kid just because you met him here a couple of days, a month ago or so. I'm on the whole class. And he says, well, Mr. Watley, he says, I used to live in the 5 Points area. I don't know what he called it over here. He says, they used to run me home every day. Those black kids used to run me home every day. So I got a chance now. And he says, I said, well, now, you talking about the boy's hair. I said, but don't you know, I'm trying to make a long story short. He said, don't you know that if you look around and see gold, why is gold so important, so valuable? And they kept saying a lot of things. I said, well, what about because it's only a little bit of it? So maybe that has a thing to do with it. And I said, I want you to understand this. Now because he is the only one, and I may have put myself in there, I don't know, has this kind of hair. I said, well, then if we do it that way, his hair would be more valuable than yours because most everybody in here got straight hair. I said, we use it that way. And then they say, well, Mr. Watley, what are you saying? It's because that his hair is more valuable than I said, no, I'm not trying to do that. I said, what I'm trying to get you to understand, God made that boy's hair. And because he made it, we should be just as thankful for it or look at it just as valuable as anybody else's. And that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to live that way. You have to build your standard on how God fixed it. Because don't you know, if you look at your hair and try to make it different, or you look at your life or lips or whatever and try to make them different and think the other race has got it better, well, you're saying that God was better to somebody else than he is to you. And when you do that, well, then you're telling yourself that God don't love you like he does other people. Learn how to love yourself like God made you so that you can really receive God's blessings. See, And I know this might not have been the best way to do it, but at that time, that was the best way I knew how to do it. And they all started looking at me kind of funny because I said that, but I know you hadn't heard it before because God was just giving it to me as I was saying it then. See, we have to understand that, and don't tell me we don't. Because why do you think that black women do that? Go try to fix their hair. It's because all the black boys and stuff, most of them are leaving them because they want somebody with all that funny looking hair or whatever hair they got. And they're trying to look like them so they can get somebody else, so get a boyfriend too. But don't do that. Wait till God sends you someone. Don't do like Sarah. Fix it yourself. Let God send you somebody. And then how you going to know? Because ask him, Lord, is this who you sent me? And your life will be a good life. Your life will be full of joy and peace if you let God be in charge. But you'll never have peace or never have joy in your life unless you know that God is the one that took care of it. See, I can't say, I grew up, like I said, my mother's hair was straight, long. See, I used to sometimes when we were kids, we used to be out in the yard or something. I used to get the comb and brush and be brushing it because of that. But I'm not saying that just because of her hair, but I'm just saying that because we as a black people, we need to know that God made us. And don't be ashamed of nothing. Now, if I go down the street and I'm ashamed because I ate too much, and they look calling me this and that because I ate too much, well, then thank God didn't do that. But if I don't respect what God made, I don't give God the glory. God can't get no glory out of me complaining that I got bad hair, as we call it. You can't complain. And you can't make other people like you, but you can like yourself. Don't be like Sarai and Abraham. Try to do your own thing. We as a race, we've tried to do our own thing too long. Ain't changed. God is ready for a change. He's ready for us to do something different. Just as important as anybody else. Just as important. Don't let man make you think that you're not. And most of us, we get us on the string, we'll say, I don't think that way. But deep down inside, it must be, because it's been there longer than I have lived. Somewhere, turn it loose and let God be free in your life. Let him have the things to do, the freedom of use, so that you can really see how God is. If there's anybody today that needs the Lord, I have something I'd like to say. Go ahead. Brother Charles, there's an offering. You may bring it, get it. And I want to thank everybody because, as we give, the Lord will always bless us. And I want us all to understand that God is blessing. See, it ain't too many times. I don't say too much about it, but it ain't too many days that we go, or weeks that we go along in this church, so where that somebody don't wonder how we can stay in this building. No more people than we got, and no more than this. They want to know, how are you paying the bills? But I tell them it's God's church, and God can't pay his own bills. See? Who do you serve? It ain't me, ain't you? What you guys give, I know, I look at the offering, I see it, and I look around and say, well, you're doing a pretty good job. See? But then God is not dependent on you to do anything other than what he asks you. He take care of the rest. Don't you know we have these bills, a couple of $1,000s a month? And we get what, $80 a week? Mostly it's $80 a week. But that's because who God is taking care of it. That's why I want you to understand. It ain't me, it's God. Let it get